Hey Adam, we've got your X450 with retracts here, black edition. We've got the Turnigy 1100 kV motors as well as the Turnigy 9X. So we're going to go over some of the features and details of your package, and we'll start with the transmitter. Alright, so first thing I want to talk about is the color-coded switches. So what I did is I color-coded the switches that are in use. The ones that are not in use do not have any sort of color coding at all, and you don't need to worry about those at all for flight. Okay, first I want to talk about the blue switch. The blue switch is your flight mode. So the top position is GPS, and that's where you're going to default to. So when you turn on your transmitter and then plug in your quad, you're going to get the green flashing light on the NASA. Green means it's in GPS mode. Now, let's say we move that to the middle position. That's attitude mode. And the little blinking LED light on the NASA would turn orange. All the way down, there's no light on the NASA. This is full manual mode, and it's going to take constant input from the sticks in order to fly the quad at this point. It's also extremely powerful in this mode, and kind of difficult. So if you're an experienced pilot, knock yourself out. If you're kind of new or even an intermediate pilot, I would recommend staying in GPS mode. This will reduce any chances that you might have for crashing. The red knob up here, this is your gains. Now this is set exactly where you need it to be for your gains, for the quad to fly really well. You can take note of the position of the switch there. If you adjust that, it will make the quad behave differently. Good or bad, it depends on how much you adjust it. But as it is right now, I have it set for you. You don't need to adjust it unless you really want to. This knob right here is for your gimbal. Now if you take that and you rotate it, your gimbal, your camera, is going to tilt up and down. So that's how you're going to be able to get that view, and you'll see that a little bit later in your flight test. And last but not least here, actually it doesn't last, I have one more after this. The yellow knob right here, this is your fail-safe. So return to home, any one of your flight modes, it doesn't matter which one you're in, flick that forward and the quad will return to its GPS location, land, and it will shut off the motors. Okay, here's the last one, the black switch. This switch is for your retracts. So after you take off, you can flick that switch forward and it will retract your landing gear. And you'll also see that demonstrated in your flight test here in just a little bit. So that's been a quick overview of your transmitter, some of the features and functions, and the color-coded switches and how they relate to the quad and its programming. Now we're going to move on to the quadcopter. Okay, one of the things that I want to mention right away is that these blades are they use these specific adapters here. The key with these is to make sure you get this nut super tight. As long as it's super tight, these blades will stay right where they need to be. If you don't tighten this down enough, the blade will fly off, and that will cause you to wreck. So you just simply want to make sure these are tight. Not a lot to it. Just keeping them snug, nice and tight. Your blades, your front left arm, this is going to be as you can see the blade cut, this is a clockwise motion, and its counterpart directly diagonal is also clockwise motion. Counterclockwise for your front right arm, and then its diagonal counterpart back here is also going to be counterclockwise. So that's the direction you're going to put the blades on when you put those on. Something real important about the batteries as well. Now your battery is going to come pre-charged, so that way you can just simply fly it. Your other battery, you'll need to charge it. But what's important to remember is that a fully charged battery is 4.2 volts per cell. So this one, for example, would be 16.8 volts completely charged. And now when the battery needs to be charged, the lowest level that it can possibly go down to without damaging it would be 3.2 volts per cell. So you just don't want to let your battery drop lower than 3.2 volts per cell, otherwise it will permanently damage your battery. So that's a real important note on the battery there. Now I put my GoPro in here just to give you an example, but when you get this, you're simply just going to unscrew these screws, slip this little ring over the lens of your camera, and then stick your camera in there. Put these two bolts in there like that, and you are good to go. This is all wired up to be controlled from your transmitter on the knob that I mentioned previously here when I was showing you your transmitter. That knob will control the tilt of the gimbal. Otherwise, everything else is all completely set up for you. Okay, I just want to talk about the back here real quick. I built in 2 auxiliary ports into your power board. So this one is for your battery. You'll plug your battery into there. This one right here will be for your LED lights, and you'll get those, plug those right into here. This one is for your gimbal. I've already got that plugged in, and we'll be putting your LED lights, and you'll be plugging them into here. Okay, so but you can use these for other things, or put a splitter in there, or other accessories. But I just wanted to let you know those are auxiliary jacks right here for you. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed it. That's been a quick overview of your quad. Now we're going to move on to the flight test. If you have any questions, just let us know. Thank you very much. Can you hold it right there for a sec? Okay. Right there.